Tale of Peter Rabbit by Beatrix Potter is one of those wonderful childhood stories that you remember. It has so many lessons in it. You probably remember that there were about 5 rabbits. There was Mama Rabbit, and there was Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, and then there was Peter Rabbit. And Mother Rabbit was going out for the day and told the rabbits to go gather blackberries for a special treat that evening. And Flopsy and Mopsy and Cottontail, I think, of course, obeyed and found the blackberries. But Peter was bad, and Peter disobeyed his mother and went off to Mr. McGregor's garden and almost ended up in the pie in the same way that his father had. Of course, there are many lessons about that, but as you remember about how he escaped and got back home, he flopped down on the floor of the rabbit den and just went right to sleep, and of course didn't get to share in the blackberries. But his mother took care of him with some tea for his aching stomach after all those vegetables in the garden, and took care of him and never asked what happened to the little clothes that he was wearing. Peter must have felt wonderful just to be home safe and sound. Probably a lot like David expressed in Psalm 32 and the way we feel when we are forgiven. Psalm 32 says, "Blessed is he whose transgressions are forgiven, whose sins are covered. Blessed is the man whose sin the Lord does not count against him, and in whose spirit is no deceit." When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me, my strength was sapped as in the heat of summer. Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. Sin is heavy upon us, and temptations when we succumb to them, but it's so much better just to confess everything to the Lord and receive the healing of His forgiveness. And of course the psalm ends up, "Rejoice in the Lord and be glad, you righteous. Sing, all you who are upright in heart." Because we are forgiven people, we can live in that joy. Even if we're Peter, occasionally going where we shouldn't go and almost getting eaten, God has good plans for us through forgiveness. We want to walk in that way and leave the garden alone where we don't need to be. There's many symbols here, but remember, blessed is he whose transgressions are forgiven.